Rare Music exclusive.
I grew up like a savage. I gotta say, like, and you got some great characters in your clique and your crew, right? Like, a lot of people, if they don't know, they should know that they might see him on Instagram as Bay Area Foods. That's your bruh.
Yeah.
Like, and he got his whole own thing going. And he don't hang on your coattail to try to get his shit popping. He just works.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the type of thing that I like when I say I like to cover the elements and cover the people. Like, Guapdad is way more than a rapper. Like, he's this guy that it's like a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you knew, then you know all these people around you do these things. Now, when y'all doing this shit, y'all still got the group. Like, what makes you start to throw these parties? These Project X parties.
It was some niggas from the north. He actually just hopped into my live the other day. J Maul and King. These niggas from the north came to us, and they was the Frat House Boys. That was the name of their clique, because they had this house that belonged to their mama's nonprofit, and they was using it to throw parties, and then they took that party money and then built like a little office space almost situation in this house. And they had their own thing going, and they came to us because we was digitally, nobody was more internet famous than me at the time.
Right.
At all.
Off
especially
of Tumblr,
in the
though.
Bay, yeah.
How the fuck did you do that though?
My mama went to jail, and one of her boyfriends, this nigga named JB, came and gave me some boxing gloves and a camera. Those are the gloves and the wraps that we use, and we box each other Tuesdays, Thursdays, every day for like 8 weeks, and we took pictures and did skits in the middle of the shit. We was just trying to stay busy in the house.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy as fuck, man.
Yeah, so that's how I got the camera that we took all the Tumblr pictures with.
And you was the most famous in the Bay for sure. Like,
yeah.
And you was early on this shit. Like, you know, now people stage shit, but like you was like kind of, that shit was organic. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It always was.
Yeah.
It always was. So that's what's tight about it. Especially looking back, like I said, I didn't have to really do no flaw ass shit.
Right.
And if I did do some shit that somebody thought was flaw, I wanted to do it. Cause I can't look back and said I did no flaw shit. So if somebody looked at some shit and felt that was it, I can't help that. You know.
Around the time y'all was having these parties, these shits was making the news and all this shit, right? And, and I remember pulling up. This is some funny shit. Like, your little sister came to my daughter's birthday party and got lost.
Yeah.
In Chabot Space Science Center. Tell her that when you...
Of course, Chai got lost in Chabot.
She got lost in the space...
And she probably
Chabot.
was crying and
yeah,
shit.
nobody could find her and shit. And I think Mia, like, ended up finding her or some shit. Like, but she was, like, upstairs in the astronaut suit or some shit, right? So, but around this time, I remember, like, pulling up. And my girl used to always say, like, nah, I'm trying to tell you, man, about Sheila's son. This nigga different. And I used to be like, I know all these niggas rap, man. She like, nah, this nigga, you gonna like him. He different. This nigga a star. I'm saying, bruh, she used to really say this shit. And I'm like, but she never say no shit like that. I'm talking about never.
Yeah,
like,
she's a hater.
Yeah, she never says, oh, this motherfucker. So I'm like, okay, so he really must be. So I started paying attention. Then I heard the music. And I was like, no, wait, they got something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm like, they tight. So when you throwing the parties, the idea of it, is it actually to get together with these people and have a great time, or are you already thinking branding?
Both. I was trying to find ways to make money off the internet.
Okay.
I had done meetups before. We sold merch.
Okay.
Things were going cool, but I wasn't like winning. But I could tell like I was starting to touch money and kind of understand how to make money from just nothing.
Right.
Because as a broke nigga, your first thing is like, all right, who can give me some money, right? And then once you run out of who's, you say, what can I sell to get some money? And I always been a creative nigga, so I would draw, paint on shit. Then I'm like, yeah, but niggas is all the Berkeley niggas and bitches is doing handmade shit. I can't compete with them. They've been doing LSD and painting on shit. Like, I wasn't drinking or smoking at the time. I was just like, I'm not. Everybody wants Tasmanian devil looking hella high. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I got it in the screen printing, and because the nigga. So a lot of people don't know. All 3 houses on the block was like refugee camps. I set up mines as one for my family and friends in the immediate circle. Our next door, Queenie, she had this big ass house and turned it into hella different rooms, and it was just like a camp.
Okay.
For people, like, if you on some spiritual shit and you just in that type of vibe, like you a incense burning ass, you know what I'm saying, destiny ass person, you can come have a conversation with her.
Okay.
And give her some money, probably rent a space in there. And one of the niggas that used to come over there was dating her daughter. He owned a screen printing company, damn near in the bottoms or close to the. No, it's near Dogtown. It's in the 30. By that park over there. What park is that?
Oh yeah.
That little with
the little park, yeah.
Yeah, it's across from there, and it was a whole factory, and he printed me some shirts for hella cheap. I started selling that shit, and motherfuckers was buying them. But I didn't have enough money to make a lot. So the profit was only a couple $100, and we were splitting the money. We didn't know about overhead or nothing.
Right.
So when we're going into the parties, it was very loose. I had a general idea, but at the end of that first party, the first Project X party, man, it was like 1,000 people there. Probably more, honestly. And they counted up 60,000 in the back. 60,000. Truth got his cut. They got ours, and then they got theirs, and then they gave us 15%. And I was like,
15% after the other cut. After the split?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was like, look, I ain't no idiot.
Right.
Everybody came here for us. We is obviously the face of this shit.
Right.
Y'all pushing y'all brand, that's respect. We finna click up, and we going 50-50 on this next party. Or else we're gonna just do our own.
Right.
Like, why should we fuck with you if y'all only giving us the promoter percentage? And they agreed. And we started doing business, and we did 5 more parties. All huge, all crazy.
What was that last one, though, that crazy one, the one that got out of control?
Yeah, it was,
where was that at?
it was in the East, at one of them lodges.
Okay.
We had, the traffic got so big, we couldn't rent regular venues anymore. And because once you hit the thousands in the Bay, where the fuck you gonna go?
Nowhere.
So we started reaching out to all the lodges, all like the Masonic clubs, and all these people with just huge spaces, and that's who we would rent to. But fucking with them, we was boxing ourselves in, because you got to think, who's a member of these clubs? It'd be legal guys, law enforcement. Law enforcement was also the niggas extorting us while we was throwing the parties.
Right.
So it was like, man, we throwing a party. They showing us a manila folder about this thick of all the complaints and things that Facebook. It was really this thick because he's printing out Facebook shit. He think I'm stupid.
Yeah, right.
But I'm like, nigga, that one complaint is 15 pages of HTML space. And it just got too much. So towards the end, it started off loose. By the second party, it was all branding. Because I wanted to earn our 50%. Because I like that money.
Right.
And I needed it. I needed it bad. So it became all branding. And by the fourth one, we was as big as we'd ever get. In the Bay, California. It was just a wrap after that, though.
So from the first to the last, the first one was at, what was it at, on 13th?
Yeah, it was downtown.
What is that
The
now?
event
Called
center.
Complex now?
It was Complex, but
was
back
the
then it
event
was
center.
the event center.
And I passed by that shit and was like, who the fuck is these young dudes? Like, it looked like a zoo out there.
No, it was crazy.
Like, that shit was crazy. Like, I only saw the last one from footage. I didn't, I was downtown when I saw the first one. I was like, this shit is crazy. And I found out it was y'all.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, they fucking moving.
Yeah.
Right? And so, but from then to the next time I seen y'all was like, I think you might have been sliding or doing some shit like that. Like, you know how when two niggas in the store sliding and they trying to avoid each other on the same register.
You don't wanna go near that
like,
nigga.
what is this nigga doing, man? Why do he gotta be in here right now?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, this nigga.
Yeah.
Fucking my shit.
You fucking my shit up. Won't you leave? Yeah, so and so I was like, niggas, I looked at it like, damn, niggas is grown now. They like moving around, and then you'll see people in multiple places. But one thing I always like to point out about our people is that, like, no one is inherently bad.
Yeah.
Like, circumstances create the things that we do and how we do it and what we go through. Like, it's never just a motherfucker wake up with and are born with just a fucked up person. I mean, or it's very rare. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then something is wrong with that person clearly. But I like to point on that because when we speak on these crimes and shit, I like to humanize us, and then later on down the line, like when you're not doing shit, it's funny to people. You know what I'm saying? Or people think it's entertaining. But like, if they would have woke up in the morning and they shit was hit, they wouldn't have thought it was funny at all. You know what I'm saying? But now getting into that, like, before, let me back up. So you still rapping?
Yeah.
The collective decides it's time to push you. And how receptive were you to that idea? Did you want to be out there on your own?
It's crazy because I actually have a picture from the day that nigga sat me down and had the conversation with me too. It was right outside the house, and I had seen it coming. We had dropped a mixtape after working on it for a while. I produced every beat. We made the cover art, and I designed the merch. It was like our first attempt at a rollout. We just didn't have no help, and it was actually some songs that could have did something for what they was back then too. But it was just us. Like, I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
Anything. So I was just like uploading that shit.
That's crazy.
And after that, some niggas had got discouraged because life had already started to hit because we were about to be grown ass men. And some niggas didn't want it. Everybody really didn't, other than Juice.
Yeah.
Juice is the only one that stayed making music. Everybody just was like, well, the group is over. Some niggas was only doing it because the group was doing it.
Right.
And they sat me down outside. I was eating a watermelon, some tahini, and some baby Lucas in the store. And they said, look, bro, I think we should just focus on you. You the best one anyway.
Just like that. Damn. And how did you take it, though? Did you take it like...
I took it as motivation and support because I was already... After we did the project, I was getting so enamored with making beats and writing raps and trying to, like, get hella clean at being a lyricist that I fucked with it. I didn't even take it as powerful as it was. Because it was like, all right, bet. Nigga, I'm already going stupid.
Right.
So that's how I took it. Now I look back and appreciate it. But because it could have been, if niggas never sat me down and said that, imagine if my niggas never sat me down and said that, maybe I'd get discouraged.
Yeah, we don't sit here now talking about it.
None of this happens if niggas just didn't say we believe and we want to focus on you at what we all just really failed at doing. That's crazy.
That is crazy. And in this time when this is happening, now you friends with Kehlani. You guys talking about bringing back AIM. How do you get this name though? How does she give you this name?
We was just bouncing back and forth because I had a song called Homie at the time. And I produced it, and I thought it was so tight. I was playing it for niggas. And on the outro, I was just saying names, and I was like, Young Guapo, Guap, Guap, gracias. Handsome money, money, thank you. And that was what I was saying. So we was trying to turn Guapo, Guap, Guap, gracias into a screen name. And it should have just been Guapo, Guap, Guap, gracias. Honestly, we should have just ran with that. But I was like Guapdad 4000, and we was throwing names back and forth. She was Tsunami Mommy 86 or some 88 or some shit. Okay. Oh no. My bitch was Pussy Diamonds 88. She was Tsunami Mommy something. We was trying to bring it back. It was a real thing. We was plotting on the names. And it just kind of stuck with me, especially because she would tweet me and shit and call me that.
Now, who is she at this time? Is she
coming up?
Is she not?
Kehlani had just moved to L.A.
So she's off of the kids group. I forgot what they was called. She's out of that now, and she's in L.A.
Yeah.
So she's taking off.
Yeah, she had already. I think Nick Cannon had got her that apartment that I first went to, and she was in there, and it was cool. It was love, man. That was one of my first early LA experiences too, and that was always like my sister. It was never it never was like, oh, I'm staying at this famous person's house, because we was in the car broke together. I mean, I know Kehlani from having nothing. Right. When I had nothing. Right. Driving my bitch car. Right. Picking her up, we going to get ice cream and shit for $1 from John's in Berkeley. Yeah.
Damn. Is now, do you walk in Kehlani house? Did you say this one of your first LA times? You still got a pocket full of sliders though.
I was early with it. See, we got mixed up. When I started sliding, by the time I see Kehlani, she was already hella famous. I had hella money, and I was coming. That's why I stayed. I kept in relationships with all my friends who got more famous and started getting money and cutting niggas off, because I came around, never not had bitches, and never was broke. Yeah. So I didn't ask him for nothing. I'm paying for my own shit. Right. I'm going above and beyond. Right. Because when the scammer, I could spend how you spending.
Yes, definitely.
And it ain't hurting me.
I'm telling you to put your shit up.
I used to outspend Sue.
Exactly.
Sue was the nigga who I would come out here and shadow. I was cool with being Sue BG. Okay. I wanted to learn from him because he was so tight. I sit around him. Stretch look at me weird. I talk to Will about comic books and just sitting around in the studio around these niggas making beats on my laptop, listening to Sue do shit, trying to write verses, not being able to write fast enough, doing the same thing around Kehlani. But nobody told me I couldn't do it because when we go to the restaurant, I got the sliders. Right. That's how I got cool with David Ali. When I first met David Ali, I remember I was looking for a manager. And Sue and Kehlani was like, fuck with David Ali, right? So I wanted to meet him. David wanted to meet me. The first thing we did was we walked from Sue Airbnb to Bossa Nova, and I had bought everybody food. That's how I met. That's how I was wiggling. It was like, oh, who is this nigga? Any tight, any funny? Yeah. Like I was working my wiggle early. Right. And that was coming to LA with Bay people. Yeah. That's how I was navigating that space when I was sliding. Yeah. But early on, when we first was coming out here, man, I just had bitches. I was saucy. So I could entertain anybody Kehlani wanted to bring over. I wasn't weird. I'm not a dirty nigga. It's not like I'm trashing her house, shit like that.
When you came in the game, you was talking so slick. I thought you was a P.
Yeah. I was pimping for a while, but I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
I was pimping just because I'm from Oakland.
Yeah,
and bitches wanted to pay me.
Yeah.
But right. I never was a pimp though. You can ask all my bitches. They can't never all the way square me out, because I had them in the malls. Like I was getting money, and I never was on no boyfriend shit. But at the same time, I never was a pimp. Yeah. I didn't want to be a pimp. I don't care to follow the rules. I don't want to call a nigga and serving papers, or I don't want to do none of the traditional shit.
Yeah, just while you right there though, isn't that the weirdest shit?
Yeah.
Like you serving a nigga papers and he's supposed to be a P, and why they never accept it though? I mean, I'm not a pimp. I just been there when people and. Why do the nigga turn back into a gangster?
Man, I don't know. It's like that every time, dog. I just didn't want to have to deal with it.
Right.
I remember texting a nigga, like, look, I hate doing this because I'm not a real pimp, but I'm a scammer. So since I have to send you a message, let's just say I scammed you for your bitch. Ooh, this nigga was hot.
I know he was hot.
He was hot. He was texting me hella shit. I just kept texting him, Fanam.